We begin at 5:30 in Elyria. It's looking to improve bicycle safety after a 9-year-old boy was killed in a deadly crash on Burns Road.
Neighbors in Bryant Tide Bartlett's family say it's a dangerous street and that something needs to change.
I want my child's tragedy to save another life, because that was a sweet little boy that had a lot of life left to live and a lot of love.
News 5's Catherine Ross has been following developments in this story for months, and she explains what a new bicycle safety committee wants to accomplish.
The blue ribbons and wooden cross tell of tragedy.
It still affects me when I think about it and talk about it.
And the makeshift signs plead for safety.
It's a 25-mile speed limit. Most people, you can see, don't go 25.
Dan Hornbeek has lived on Burns Road for almost 40 years. Like many of his neighbors, he's keenly aware of speeders, blind spots, and narrow shoulders, especially after the loss of the little boy next door.
It was very sad. I just really felt terrible.
In October, 9-year-old Tide Bartlett was killed and his 10-year-old friend was seriously injured when they were hit by an SUV while biking.
It is a dangerous road and they need to do something.
We spoke with Tide's mother and neighbors in the days following the crash as they reiterated concerns about Burns Road. Police tell us there have not been an abundance of crashes or complaints in the area, but city leaders have pledged to prioritize bicycle and pedestrian safety. In November, we reported Elyria's plans to apply for a grant to add sidewalks and bike paths. As an avid cyclist himself, Hornbeek recognizes the need.
What's it like biking in Elyria or even in your neighborhood?
Risky.
The tragedy here this past fall has already inspired action, and now the city is launching a bicycle advisory committee. This isn't the first time the city's attempted something like this, but this time around, committee members in the city say they expect real results.
When you have a death like that, it doesn't just affect Tide and his family and even the neighbors. It was a community tragedy.
Mayor Kevin Brubaker introduced the resolution to reassemble the advisory committee after he says it was disbanded years ago.
From talking to them, I think the bulk of it was they weren't taken seriously. Nobody listened to them.
Hornbeek is one of 5 members appointed this week. He also served on previous versions of the committee and says he's hopeful things will be different this time.
Knowing a number of the people on the city council, that they're willing to listen to us on what we want to get accomplished.
He tells us it's frustrating it took tragedy to spark action. City leaders say they're more committed than ever to improve safety in neighborhoods like this and on roads and paths throughout the city.
Unfortunately, we are reactive in this instead of being proactive, but now we're getting on the proactive side.
In Elyria, Catherine Ross, News 5.